Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be updating the National Caucus on the broad parameters of an agreement with New Zealand First. That'll then be followed by updating the party board, again outlining to them the broad parameters of an agreement. We've had a period of intensive negotiation, and I'm satisfied that the agreements that we've reached with New Zealand First would be able to form the basis of a strong and cohesive government. Other than that, I don't intend to comment at all on the content of those discussions or the agreement itself. Mr. Peters has indicated that he's going to announce his position later in the day, and like everybody else, we look forward to hearing what that is.
How confident are you?
Well, as I said, we're confident that the agreement we've reached would be the basis of a strong and cohesive government. Later on in the day, Mr. Peters will indicate whether he agrees with that.
No, but how confident are you that he will agree with it?
Well, we'll just wait and see.
If he doesn't go your way, will you resign?
I haven't considered that at all.
What are your expectations of the announcement this afternoon in terms of who might be present or how that's going to happen?
Oh, there'll be a bit more communication with New Zealand First about that through the day.
So would you be told yet about whether Mr. Peters would expect yourself or Jacinda again to be there?
Well, as I said, there'll be a bit of discussion about that through the day.
So do you expect, like happened in '96, that there'll be a knock at the caucus door at some stage?
Well, as I said, there's been a bit of discussion, and there'll be more through the day about just how the logistics of the announcement will work. But that'll be really up to, once there's a shared view or Mr. Peters' view, then I'm sure he'll let you know.
Have you discussed cabinet positions yet?
Sorry?
Wouldn't it just be courtesy to inform both sides before the decision's made public?
Well, as I said, there'll be discussions through the day about the logistics and so on. Some of those issues have been raised already, but we'll just see how that unfolds.
Have you offered Peter's deputy prime ministership?
I'm not discussing any of the contents of the agreement.
Could you work in a coalition?
Well, as I said, the agreements that we've reached, in my view, would be able to form the basis of a strong and cohesive government. So the answer to the question, if the question is could we work with New Zealand First, then certainly our discussions indicate that we can.
Have you discussed and agreed on cabinet positions yet?
Well, that has been discussed as part of the agreement.
Is there any more room to negotiate potentially further positions or any changes to the agreement that sits there at the moment?
Well, I suppose there's always that potential up until the announcement is made. I mean, there's been a lot of progress in the last 24 hours. But I'm satisfied that what I can present to the caucus is the broad parameters of the agreement.
So you're saying you haven't given all that you could give?
No, I'm just saying that this is a process where further discussion can be had. But I'm satisfied that we're in a position now where I can present to the caucus and to the National Party board the broad outline of the agreement.
When is your deadline to have a final deal that is signed and sealed, given we are on the day of the announcement? Have you got a time frame or a deadline in your mind that you want it signed on paper?
Well, the deadline is the announcement.
So would you expect this meeting to
any-
go on all day, or how long?
What's that, Mike?
This
meeting?
yeah.
No, I don't. No, I'll be outlining the broad parameters of the agreement, seeking their support for that agreement. Then go through that process with the National Party board, so that if there's going to be a government between National and New Zealand First, then we can get on and form it with the approval of our parties.
But if there are negotiations further or following that caucus and board update, will you have to go back to them, or will you basically have a mandate from there to go ahead?
I don't think there'll be anything material that would warrant that. No.
So basically what you're taking into them now is the final offer, effectively.
Well, as I said, the broad parameters of the agreement.
How broad is broad?
It's sufficiently clear that I can put an agreement in front of them and look for their support. Okay, we'll just go around in circles. Thank you.
Winston Peters, New Zealand First, also held a caucus meeting this morning. The National Party leader